Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay. This is the spoiler review for It, the 2017 It, not the...
It, shit, fit, bitch. It's there.
It's in the wagon wheel.
It, the spoiler review.
Yes. And I want to say something first off.
Go ahead,
Let's just give our ratings
say
for it. Do not watch this unless you've actually watched it. Trust me, you want to see it in the theater.
Yeah, by the way, I want to say, I'm glad that you having this PSA moment.
I don't know, do my hands again.
Because there have been a lot of people, not a lot, but there are some people that click on our videos and it clearly says fucking spoiler in the title and they're like, thanks for giving it away. It says spoiler, you blind bitch, we know. Don't watch it if you've not seen the film. So
we both give the movie a 9.5. It's near perfection for me. I'm going to just say real quick the couple things I don't like about it, because we're going to get the bad shit out of the way, because it's very small bad shit. This movie's going to fuck your panties.
Get that creamy shit out of the way.
Ooh, God, moist. Ooh, creamy, moist.
Creamy green shit.
Ah,
it's nasty.
It's gross. But no,
burgundy.
The only things I can possibly take away from this movie is that it blows its load halfway through, and then the ending almost doesn't live up to the rest of it. And also, the Losers Club, to me, I love the kids, I love the acting, I love the jokes, everything worked. There was just a tiny little thing that was missing, and I felt like what you want to do with that, what they were trying to do is make you feel like it was to be a kid and have a bunch of friends in that time zone.
In the 80s, yeah.
But they did this like weird scene where everybody was in their underwear, and there was a couple laughs, and it was a couple good laughs, but at the same time it felt a little bit forced, and like the cohesion didn't quite mix right, and it felt a little bit forced. Apart from that, this movie fucking hit every expectation I had and then beyond.
I was going to say with the underwear scene, I definitely felt like it was going to lead into like a tourist commercial. It's like, when you start off as kids, you always think about your dream car. Like, yeah, it did.
Do they still make tourists?
Maybe, I don't know. Do they still make Saturns? Fuck, I don't
know.
It's weird. I never thought of it.
What is this world that we live in?
We don't even know what's happening. Okay, so let's get into some spoiler-rificness, okay?
I'm gay.
Are you? It's so good that you've come out. So the main thing is that we all know the story of what basically transpires about Pennywise. So I don't want to get into the plot necessarily, but the biggest part of the spoiler really is, I mean, if you've seen the fucking movie, if you read the book, if you've seen the original It series and you read the book, the spoilers is that what Pennywise essentially is some kind of creature that's existed for hundreds of years that feeds off people's fears, and that is why he essentially exists, to eat children to survive. That's what he does.
He lives off their fear.
We don't really know what their version of I know what the origin is of It. I mean, I know, I read the book, but it was been a while. But we won't know that until 2019. But they do kind of go into that he's existed for a long time, and the fact that he needs you to be afraid so that he can consume you, and that's the only way that he survives, essentially.
Which one of the one things that this movie had that the miniseries didn't. Which, before I even get into that, let's talk about this little thing real quick right here. I saw one article saying how it's not fair to compare this to the original It miniseries, because technically they were trying to say that this isn't a remake. It's still a remake. And like it hits so many of the same beats that forgetting the book, it hits so many of the same beats that the original miniseries hit, and does a lot of them better. But it does follow that same storyline for the most part. But one of the main things that is in this that wasn't in the original It is the floating children. Right?
They float.
They float.
They do fucking
They literally
float.
fucking
That's
float.
what I thought when I saw them floating at the end. I'm like, they really do float.
I kept thinking, when I was watching that scene, I kept thinking about Dark Knight Rises. It was like, Rise.
You know what I was thinking of? When I saw him floating,
only one man
you actually do see him float. I actually was thinking of Willy Wonka. It's like they drank fizzy lifting liquid, their soda.
They drank that Faygo.
Yeah, they were fucking high as shit on that fucking Four Loko.
And another tiny little thing I didn't like was also when the girl is paralyzed by it.
Beverly,
she's floating. Yeah, she's floating, and Chunky Monkey comes over to her and he kisses her. And then she comes out of her thing naturally. That felt a little bit weird to me.
The thing
a
about,
tiny little nitpick.
They do throw in the whole Ben, Bill, Beverly love triangle. I think they
way better.
I think they did it way better. Yeah, because the whole idea behind when they were kids is that Ben, was enamored with Beverly. I'm not gonna say in love. I mean, you're a kid. I mean, you're a kid. You don't know what the fuck that is. You haven't even played with
Mommy,
the monkey yet.
Wow. I've got tampons now.
But and Bill liked her too, and Beverly was kind of maybe torn between the two. But when they do get to the sewer part and Beverly gets captured, because that's essentially how Pennywise gets them into the sewer, is by capturing Beverly and having them come to rescue her. She's in that state of shock and weirdness because she saw the lights. I mean, I know. I've had sex with girls. They see the light. No, it's terrible. Never does that happen.
It's your mom opening up the door. JT! What are you doing?
Mom, what are you... There was a lock on my door for a reason.
Not in my house.
Anyhow, so, yeah, it felt weird. When Ben kisses her to break the spell, it felt very Sleeping Beauty-ish. It's like, because he was... Wake up, Beverly, fuck!
I was like, wait, did love break the spell?
But then at the end, Bill's like making out with her, and I never liked Beverly really, because Beverly clearly...
Yeah, choose a side.
Yeah, it's like you're slutting it up right now, because you're making your friends fight. Ben likes you, and you know that.
In the original, she was. In this one, they actually did that way better.
Yeah, I know, but now you want Bill to like you, and Bill's kind of like, I don't know.
This would have made way more sense though, because it was just at the very end of the film, and Bill runs up to it the last second. He's like, "I want to do this. I want to kiss you."
I know, yeah.
In the first It though, like, and granted they didn't go into this territory in this film, but in the original miniseries, when she was fine as a kid to me, but when she comes back as an adult and she's like sitting in this dude's lap and rubbing this dude's hand,
that was weird.
And making out with this dude behind the fucking bleachers, it was just like, Jesus Christ.
I got what they were going for, like, and we kind of talked about this off camera. I know she was going for, like, they all felt like brothers to her, and that she was in love with all of them because they made her feel safe. But the fact is, you look like you were trying to have a bukkake film.
I understood her in this one.
I get it.
This one did it right.
They did a better job with that.
She didn't feel slutty in this one. Which is an unfair word to use, but you get what I'm saying.
I want to talk a little bit more about Pennywise and what they do with Bill Skarsgård's character, or his version of Pennywise. They do a lot more creep factor than they did with Tim Curry. Tim Curry did have that, crazy, creepy clown thing down really well. I mean, but it always felt, and I love Tim Curry's version of Pennywise. Pennywise, as far as Tim Curry goes, is perfect. I don't want to compare those that much, but Bill Skarsgård did more of a, I don't know, man, like a dark, gothic fucking clown that, yeah, he does say, like, clownish things, like what you would expect a clown would say, but with a tone of, like, deadly underneath of it. Like, I just farted and I want you to smell it.
What got me about him was his lips.
Do you want to come here and have your butt? I just farted.
His big ass fucking lips were always soaking wet. And he was always,
because he was hungry.
And his teeth were too big, so he was always like, popcorn, Dorothy. And I was like, just to fucking swallow your goddamn drool.
He wants to, he basically, he was
it's
Tom
like when
Cruise.
you get woke up early for work and you're like, oh.
He was Tom Cruise.
What?
Or Gary Busey. 2 big teeth, not enough fucking lip.
Yeah.
But the fact is, but I think the reason why his lips were always wet and like saliva was dripping, because he was hungry. Like, he wanted to eat this motherfucking kid.
This big
and this is what I always thought was funny about the movie. And they do it so well. They do a really good job. But what I thought was funny is that Pennywise gets his power from the fact that you're scared. When you're not scared anymore, which they all come together and they realize that when you're not scared of him, then he's going to starve and his power goes away. His power starts to wane, his magical abilities. And I just got reminded of, like, the Macaulay Culkin show. I'm not afraid anymore. You hear me? I'm not afraid anymore. And it felt like, The Boogeyman, which was such a fucking letdown movie. The only way you get rid of the Boogeyman, you face it. You're like, hey, I looked at you. He's like, oh, well, shit, I gotta go away now.
They tried that with Freddy, too. It's like, I don't believe in you, so you're not real.
Yeah, which I guess,
it's my money and I need it now.
It makes sense, but it's always seemed corny to me. But the way they shot it in this, though, it actually, it plays well.
They did a great job of it in this. And what I love about this film that we didn't talk about in the original review is that I can see clearly now.
The rain is gone.
My dick is here. But it's like when you get your dick
from
Amazon
wake up?
mail. I got this Amazon Prime.
You get Morning Wood, you gotta go with
for
it.
fun. No, but in this one, what I picked up for the most part out of this is that at the end of the movie, I really realized, for me, what it should be and truly is about. And that's the fact that the 2 parts where they're split, okay, so it plays on fear, right? So when you're a kid, you're afraid of certain things. You have irrational, weird, crazy fears, right? You have things that you're scared of.
Yeah.
And it's easy to play off of those. And then the second part, when they become adults, and I think the miniseries did a failure of representing this as well.
Adult section.
But when you're adult, you have a whole different kind of fears. You're scared about a whole different multitude of things.
Well,
it's a complete different multitude of fears. And I hope that when they go into the second part, Pennywise plays off of that, like their adult fears, like they're in inadequacies and shit like that.
I don't know, man, because it could be a phobia though. Like whatever your phobia is, and but that's what I think that even if you're a kid and you have a phobia, if you have arachnophobia, you scare those goddamn spiders. Who's not fucking scared of spiders or snakes?
Right.
When you get older, you're still gonna have that.
But it'd be nice if they go more cerebral with it, like because when you're an adult, you're afraid of not amounting to this, or it's just a whole different psychological set of fears. And I felt like the movie hinted at that towards the end when he was like, "Well, now you're gonna go hungry," and they put him in that fucking pit. And when in the first movie you had that fucking stupid ass light, I was like, and this one he's actually like breaks apart and he's like, "You're gonna go hungry because we're not scared, you bitch."
Yeah, I like
clown. Well, the thing is, Andy Machete, whose name I'm probably saying wrong, filmed this thing so fucking good. I mentioned in the first review, it's not up to that.
I love him in Machete.
It's not up to that level, but when you watch The Shining, I could watch it, not pay attention to the plot or anything, and just be wowed by how good it looks in the shots. And this movie looks so fucking good. On a lower level, it's that same thing. Like I could just watch.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
He's not Kubrick good, dude, but he's still fucking phenomenal with what he. Yeah, he does. He does an amazing job.
The tracking shots and the shit he does are just so fucking amazing. And one of the main things I think that knocked this that in this movie were
that Sammy Sosa bitch.
Yeah, that was fucking Sammy Sosa above the original.
Mark McGuire before the steroids.
The goddamn bathroom blood scene, dude. It was so fucking like just, and you knew what was coming. You knew what to expect. But dude, when that blood flowed out all over the place, the way it was shot, the frenetic camera work, but it still looked so goddamn good. That scene scared me. Fucking legit scared me. But the scariest part of the fucking movie, dude,
was the shed, the garage, or whatever.
And you saw it in the trailers when they're doing the clips, and you see its face appear. Or
on the projector.
Yeah, face appear, but it kept going. And this movie, the movies don't do this to me, dude, but after the scene was over, I was literally like in shock, like with my mouth open, and I felt like I needed a break. I was like,
I know.
I literally, and this never ever happens to me, but I was literally like, I kind of want to go out and get a breath of fresh air.
I would have called you the biggest pussy of all time.
Dude,
you make fun of me all the time. I was like, you fucking bitch.
But I felt panic attacky after this, dude, because you see that scene, but then all of a sudden, I just didn't expect it, dude. Jump scares galore for sure in this movie, and go see it in the theater because the loudness and the atmosphere is affected by that really well. But when he pops out of the screen and he's giant, I'm like, oh shit, that's something. But then the next thing you know, he's over here and he's twice as fucking big, and he's in that space and he's crawling towards them, dude. It fucked with me.
It looked like
it just took me totally off fucking guard.
X-Men Apocalypse. It looked like fucking Apocalypse in that dream that Xavier had. He's fucking huge and he like puts his hand. It was
the scariest scene in the movie.
See, that was your moment of like,
yeah, I was like, oh,
like I'm gonna choose not to eat with you. It was like my moment was
I need some waffles.
So one of the kids in there, Stanley, one of his, his big fears is that, well, they don't really explore, because Stanley's kind of a bitch. He's always been a bitch, even in the original series and the books. And Stanley never really believed in the power of the Seven. That's why. Spoiler again, he dies later on when he's an adult. But he's always been scared of this.
Like the Seven.
He's been scared of this painting on his dad's, in his office, and this bitch.
Talking about football head.
Yeah, it's like weird and it's stretched out, and he always like does this when he walks into his dad's office. Well, that bitch comes out of the goddamn painting and terrorizes him. And Wowzer doesn't ever, because I really, I said this in an non-spoiler, and it's true today. When you drink too much and you see that shit, you fuck it and you don't know what you did. When you wake up, you see that morph that bitch like looking at you. You're like, I don't know what I did. But there's a moment in the very end of the movie when he's in the sewer with the group and he gets separated, which they all, come on. There's moments that I'm like, you're running towards it. Like, you're running towards like, hey, come over here. And you're like, okay. But anyway, he goes off on his own. This thing jumps out of the shadows, and when it goes, it does this chatter thing, like it's just the way it was shot and looked when it was like the camera's all, it fucked with you. And then they run in, and it's so subtle. The kids run in, the rest of the loser club to find him, and he's laying on the ground on his back, and this thing is like biting and sucking his fucking face with its all 800 teeth, going
sucking and fucking,
and he's like doing it. I'm like, I really got fucking weirded out. Like,
Mr. Microwave, my moon pie.
You have a great horror movie when it's not just it goes from being scary and you're just like weirded out. You're like, when did I fucking get to Hellraiser? I need a shower.
It's true.
Like, it gets weird.
That bitch looked like someone took the Mona Lisa and put her in one of those museum penny machines that flattens your penny for you, dude. Her head was like flopping and like
fuck out of you.
Her head was too heavy, so she just flopped it around and everything. Dude, she was scary as shit though.
But it was funny because she like scurries back into the sewer tunnel pipe. And it was weird because she does this. She goes like this. She goes. And then Pennywise like pops back out. He's like, hi. It almost felt like he wanted to be like,
it's sadistic.
I know, but he kind of wanted to come back out and be like, come see the sequel. Come on, George.
It was like Deadpool at the end of the movie.
But dude, like as far as atmosphere goes, it builds it up 100%. It never lets go. I mean, there are moments that maybe somebody will get taken out of it because they do explore the relationships. They try. I mean, I know we have disagreements with probably the general audiences go about how they implemented the relationships between the kids.
Which 90% of it was great.
Yeah, it was 90% was still good. And maybe some people would be taken out of that. They'd be like, "Well, I just want the scare." But overall, it never stops being scary. It never stops being creepy or atmospheric, or especially what I think nail biting, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like you expect. And you kind of think you know what's going to happen because you've seen the trailers and you read the book and you've seen the miniseries, and so you maybe think, okay, that's going to be around the corner, but they twist it and fucking make it so much different than what it was. You're like, holy shit, yeah. I'm in for a ride, lady.
When they go to I enjoyed the movie up to the middle of it for the atmosphere alone, because something we forgot to say in the original review that I was kicking myself for was. It starts in October. It goes to October and August or whatever. But, dude, this movie just feels like Halloween. I don't know if it's because it was cold outside today or because Halloween's coming up or what. But this is a movie that I could see myself for the rest of my life popping in at Halloween, and it feels like fall.
It does.
And that's a huge fucking
It makes you want to just go trick-or-treat and have candy corn.
So important, and it really does nail that.
Or maybe, like, steal kids' trick-or-treat bags.
So when the garage scene, like a lot of the stuff you expected, and it's just like watching it, you kind of know what's going to happen, and it's great, but you know what's going to happen. When the projector scene thing that we talked about happened before, very shortly after that, they go to this house. And this did not feel like it was in the original movie at all.
No, well, the house was different. Oh, the like sewer complex was different.
Yeah, and I actually thought this was the end of the movie. They go into the house, they follow him in there, and he kind of separates them a little bit, and Richie's the one who fucks with most. Richie's fucking hilarious. He's probably my favorite
Richie
character.
Is really great. Yeah.
He's better in this than the original, just my opinion. But he drops a lot of fuck bombs and cock jokes, and I love that kid.
Great guy.
But he separates them a little bit, and he fucks with each of them on their own a little bit. And dude, those scenes coming off of the fucking panic attack I had from the goddamn projector screen.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
These scenes were fucking nailing it, dude, and it was just scene after scene of just batshit crazy.
See, I think the main thing to take away from it when you're watching those scenes unfold like that is that a lot of horror movies just forget the fact that you can put your fucking foot to the pedal and keep going. Yeah. Keep going with what you've got. You've got this great momentum going into this scene, and just keep it up. Ratchet it up. Make it creepy. Make it uncomfortable. Make it where people get squeamish in their chairs. And a lot of the horror movies just rely too much on the jump scare, and then they're like, okay, well, that's over with. Now we'll have like 5 minutes of a sunshine scene.
It's going to be daylight now, so you know what's going to happen.
But when they're in that house, like I said, the fear factors, like what they're scared of, that all comes back into play 100%. And then because the whole idea behind Pennywise is to separate, divide, and conquer, because he hates this group. This group, to him, represents a huge threat. And the only way to separate and get rid of that threat is to break them down individually and make them, whatever their specific fear is, have that in them. In a way, it kind of felt like what Freddy Krueger would do in a dream. Like, he would fuck with you in your own way to get you, to be scared of. I know they did that with Freddy too, but this guy did such a great job, man. This motherfucker deserves an Academy Award. I'm gonna even give this guy a CMT award, and he don't even sing country music.
And when they go into the house, that whole scene happens. She jams that pipe or whatever into his face.
And he was weird looking, like when he did, like.
Just for an example of how this movie continues to roll on with their scares, She jams the pipe into his face, and you expect him to like wither away or to pop away or be like, I'm hurt or whatever the fuck. But instead, Pennywise has this thing in his face, and he's using it and swiping at people with it, and you're just like, fuck, it's not gonna. You actually felt in that scene like, oh fuck, it's not gonna stop.
You're not dead yet,
There's
bro?
nothing you can do, Barbara. Holy shit. Just use your coupons and get the fuck out of Kroger. It's senior day. But no, dude, it's just
time to go home.
But then he does eventually walk away, and he goes down the fucking pipe.
He doesn't just walk away, dude. He does this like weird, the Mario, the like he does this. No, he does this weird slither thing out the door. He's like, but it's like it's creepy looking, like the way like it's herky jerky, and I hate fucking herky jerky. He does this weird thing when he like goes, he's like.
Dude, I thought it was. I thought
just fucking die.
I thought it was the end of the film. That scene was so great, and this is one of the tiny little things I took away from it. That scene was so fucking badass. I thought for sure that's the end of the film.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent to in the original when they hit him with a slingshot and the light shooting out of his face. Which this time they used that. Confident head tails.
Yeah.
They use that thing on him. But I thought that was the end of the movie, and then it keeps going, and then it gets really into this fall territory. It felt like fall. They're catching up with where everybody's at in these moments after they kind of got pissed at each other and broke up. And then you go after the mullet-headed bully fucker and his dad, and that whole story where he kills his dad. It felt a lot like Michael Myers, the remake.
Henry Bauer.
Yeah.
Every time Henry Bauer was on screen,
Bowers.
I was thinking of Joe Dirt. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet. Boom, boom.
The rock fight, dude.
Yeah, well,
that was one of the best.
I love that part, but every time Henry Bauer, literally, he looked like Joe Dirt's like skid mark. Like he's been around, and he drove a Trans Am, guys. He drove a Trans Am in 1989. So every time I saw him, I thought that the car was gonna skid to a stop in the gravel, and he's gonna go. It's like you ain't seen nothing yet. Boom, boom.
Check out this note Brandy gave me to give you.
What about some McFries? McFries. I mean, you know. He was a good bully though. Like he fit that part, and they all looked like rejects. All the bullies, and there was actually more bullies in this one than in the original miniseries because in the miniseries there's like 3 of them, and this one there's like 6 or 5 or something. And
then you include the girls who were assholes too.
Yeah, there's a bitch in it too. But he was. They all look like they smell like pee and vomit. They really nailed that part down really well.
The gazebo's joke, fucking.
That was hilarious. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Because I didn't know that this was maybe when he was a kid, and correct me if I'm wrong, if this was in the books, I didn't know. But when he goes to the pharmacy to pick up his refills, the mean bitch, the one that, the high school, whatever, elite girl, is there.
Chewing her fucking bubble gum.
Yeah, and she's like, she's the one actually in the trailer you see when he's got the cast on that says loser. She's the one that wrote that on there, and he just put the V in there for a lover. But she's like, they're just placebo, right? I guess her dad's the pharmacist. She's like, they're just placebos. And there's one scene that comes up later on when he's talking to his mom, and her mom's like, you can't go outside and be with your friends because they're all getting back together. The bat signal's been sent out. We got to kill Pennywise. And he's like, I'm going outside. And she's like, you can't. You'll get sick. He's like, exactly what do I have, Mom? What do I have? He like, look at this. And he takes his fanny pack out, and he gives all his pills. He's like, you can have your gazebos. He tells him
that was one of the best jokes in the movie. And there was one joke that lands the flat as fuck, and that's at the very, very, very end. And I forgot what it was, but it was right when they killed Pennywise off, and he was like, no, I know what I'm going to do my project about. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was a terrible fucking bad joke. But apart from that, the comedy works.
You should have been like, somebody should be like, less is more. Less is more.
Dude, it's the more we talk about it, dude. I like it.
I know. I kind of want to go all the way to a 10 with it, man, because I loved it that much that I would watch this bitch over and over and over. Well, I'll float down here. You'll float down. You'll love it. You'll fucking love it, dude. I'm telling you, if you're a horror fan, if you've never seen it before, if you've never seen anything with it or read the books, you'll still love it. Just general speaking, as a horror fan, you'll still fucking love it.
Yeah.
And as an It fan, as a fan of the original miniseries, a fan of the book, and growing up with it, essentially, it's stellar. Dude, I want to give it a 10. I kind of want to go back on my 9.5.
Right now.
I know. I kind of want to go back on my 9.5 and say, I lied to you. I lied to you. It's a goddamn 10, motherfucker, and now I can't do that because I already put that in solid.
I'm going to give it to a 9.5 to a 10 pending.
You can't do that.
I'm going to go pending.
You can't do
that. I'm going to 9.5. We could maybe.
I could probably throw it. I could give it an extra bone.
Yeah.
0.5. It's 0.5. Dude, because we nitpick. We nitpick at
so
small
tiny.
things, and it's so tiny, it's not even worth the fucking. Fuck it. I'm erasing it. I'm going with a 10.
Well, the only reason I take the 0.5 away is, honest to God, is because it's so fucking great at that scene when they're in the house, and it's perfect.
But I'm looking at.
It's actually fucking scaring the bejesus out of me, and you've got everything else on top of that. But then the ending, it just when he and they did the spider thing, but only it was just his arms.
That was actually cool though. The way his arms like morphed into like
way better.
pinchers. Or
when he's
shit.
fighting everybody at the end, dude, it just didn't have the same just fuck that the house scene had. And it just, I felt like it's like someone told me when we were in the band, a song that we did. Someone reviewed our music and they told us they're like the song hits like its crescendo peak really early, and then there's nowhere else to go from here. Like you're so high at this point, there's nowhere else to go.
Well,
and I feel like the movie does do that. At some point, it reaches this fucking holy shit. This is one of the best things ever moment. And then you have that whole ending you still have to power through, and it just doesn't reach that potential.
I wouldn't say you power through that because it wasn't like something you'd have to just get through because it was still good.
It felt a little power through.
It wasn't because you had to explain. It's just a little bit.
Leprechaun.
Do you like Italian sausage?
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
No, I mean the Henry Bowers thing. They had to explain that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it is different in this one. Henry Bowers doesn't see the lights like you saw in the miniseries.
He fucking sees his dick in the dirt.
He sees a deep well coming up to meet him, and the fucking grudge bitch being down there like because what's his name? The kid that pushes him over.
I can't remember.
Okay, but one of the kids basically Henry Bowers was dead. Like they push him down the fucking well, and he's essentially dead. So that's different than the original. But I'm not saying that I don't agree with the house scene was one of the best scenes in the fucking film. Next to the garage scene and some of the other scenes, one of the best. But I mean, as far as powering through at the end, it was still good. It unfolded in a normal way that I felt like I was still involved.
Yeah.
But they could have ended it earlier, and I would have been fine with it. But
it just didn't.
I don't know, man. Like he did such. Even when they were fighting Pennywise the Clown, when they were fighting him, they were all like beating the shit out of like baseball bats and crowbars and. There was a full-on final battle scene, like Doomsday and Superman were coming at it again, and Batman's just staying in the corner like, I ain't got no fight in this. but they were beating the shit out of him, and even then, when, the villain's there and there's no more really jump scares going on, I felt like the camera work was so well done. It felt kinetic, it felt energetic, like it just felt really good. And then when they throw his ass down there, he's like, and he looked like he bust the biggest nut since 2013. And he's got this saliva coming out because he realizes now that he's not going to scare them.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're fucked, man. Like, the only way that you were going to survive is if we kept getting scared. And he's like, fucking kids. But I still think it was cool, man.
I do too. I ultimately do. I think this movie's going to be a classic. I think it's going to be looked at as a classic. I think we're all going to watch it on Halloween when Halloween comes around.
And I just want you guys to know.
I can't wait to watch it fucking again.
Yeah, and before you guys say, it's not because we were huge Pennywise. I mean, we are It fans. Like, we love Pennywise. Pennywise and the It movie, great, phenomenal movie anyway. But if this movie had sucked, we would have given you the fair fucking honest truth.
Yeah.
This movie is badass. Dude.
I wouldn't have been skeptical.
I'm just saying,
a little skeptical.
If Halloween 9 was coming out and it was just in the same kind of vein of like Halloween 8, we'd say that we fucking loved it for a Michael Myers movie, but we would say it sucked overall. This movie is bee's knees a great horror film.
It fucking, dude, it had everything that you wanted as far as the lore of an It story, but it also actually fucking did something that 99.9% of even horror movies just don't do for me, and it actually scared the fuck out of me a couple times.
Well, here's the thing.
It really did.
Okay, so what was supposed to be for Annabelle the scariest movie of the summer, this to me is way fucking scarier. Annabelle to me is more like the Cleveland Buttcrack Browns in the NFL. And you got fucking It, and that's more like...
You don't want to say it, but you're thinking the Patriots.
New England Patriots, yeah, I have to fucking say it. But, that's what they are.
Who we just watched lose to the Kansas City Chiefs.
That was a great game, though. It was a great game. I don't know if you guys checked that out. That was a good game.
It was a fun one. We had a good night. It, football, beers.
Brady fumbled and weirded out under pressure. What?
He didn't fumble.
No, I said fumbled. Like, I didn't mean he fumbled the ball.
Oh, like in the game of life?
Yeah, like he fumbled.
Anyways,
I don't want to get into it all. You know what? It just, heads and tails is better than Annabelle. And they build Annabelle as the horror hit of the summer. This fucking movie, even though it comes out in September...
My two favorite horror movies that I've seen this year are this and The Black Coat's Daughter, for sure. And
why are you being racist?
I think this is my favorite horror movie of the year so far. It's that fucking great. So, and honestly, guys, I'm gonna hold my 10. I'm gonna hold my 10 I reserve the right to give it a 10. I'm going to watch it one more time.
I'm going to go with 10.
It's definitely a 9.5.
I think I'm going to go back at 10.
I think that it may be a 10 for me. Comment down below, what is your all's thoughts on all this shit that we've talked about on the movie? What is
Well, you know, I never would have said, you know, that's rare, okay? When you talk more about a movie and you get more fucking pumped and hyped for it and you're like, why the fuck did I score it so low? I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna watch
to be burned at the stake with my tits on fire.
Yeah, you do. I think I'm gonna. That's the general, anyways. I think in 5 years I'm gonna be watching this on Halloween and be like, "Fuck, I should have given it a fucking 10."
I know.
You know,
hate when you do that.
I feel like this movie's got staying power. Comment down below. What are your all's thoughts? Is this your favorite horror movie of the year? Do you think it sucks big fat Conan cocks?
By the way, if you didn't get scared a little bit, you're a fucking liar. And the only way you wouldn't be scared is if you sat there stone faced as fuck and you're like, I seen shit. And you're like, you weren't scared. It's like, I watched the 2016 election. I seen the Hillary and the Trump supporters.
And let me tell you this, because I know there's always a couple of you guys who you don't give a fuck. You just want to watch the world burn, and I respect that. But I know there's a couple of you guys who are watching this right now who have not seen the movie, who want to see the movie, and are not planning on seeing the movie, but you're still going to watch this full review anyway. And I'm pleading to you guys. This is one of those movies, and we had a great crowd. No one talked.
That was great.
Everybody shut the fuck up.
There was a guy, I want to tell you, there was a guy that was the left of me, and I made goo-goo eyes. I don't know if it was his like girlfriend or his friend that's a girl, because I think he was gay.
It was his uncle.
It was a girl, but it would be an aunt. But he did this. This shit was the funniest thing ever, and I knew it was good when he started doing this. Like every time the clown would appear, every time Bill Skarsgård would do anything, he would do this. He would have like this little bag of popcorn. He'd go, and he would like stone face, fucking serious. Like not like I'm like scared that someone's gonna see me doing this. He didn't care at all. He did not give a shit that somebody. He was go.
Which I'm surprised you didn't do. I expected your typical.
I did one of these. You didn't watch me do that. I would do these. And I would.
You did your playoff scared. Like something happened, you go. You make some weird noise. You go.
Well, you know, sometimes I do this. This is what I like to do. I like this. Well, I know because it wasn't working anymore because you were getting all angry about it.
I was doing this. I was leaning on the other side, like stop ruining this shit for me.
I did one of these. I went.
I did see that. I saw you go.
I looked down.
You did that?
I look at the fucking floor, and then because I don't want other people thinking that I'm pussing out in the theater, so like they think I'm watching it because I can't see because it's dark, but I'm doing this.
I did see. If something scary happened, I just see Jay's head go.
I lower my head down. Anyway, we loved it.
That's my point, though. If you guys seriously pay the money. I'm telling you, pay the money, see it in the theater, the extra sound, the ambiance, it's gonna be worth it. Give me back my son. You're gonna want to see it. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you. Take it.
God, you didn't just bust a nut. You had an aneurysm in your dick.
I think I might die.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.